Hey everybody, it's Jordan back with another video. Today we're doing another top 5 video to continue the series of the top 5 strongest characters. Today we're switching the anime. Previously it was Boruto, this time we're switching it to Black Clover. So to start off, for the 5th strongest person in my opinion, I think that spot belongs to Yami Tsukihiro. Some of the reasons why, we'll go over the abilities that he utilizes. He can utilize dark magic, he can also utilize mana zone, and he can also sense ki. He's known for surpassing his limits. Now, some of the spells that Yami uses. Pretty notable. One would be Black Slash or Dark Slash, I believe, which is where he can use a mid to long range dark magic spell to attack his opponents, in conjunction with his sword so he can slash them. Another attack that Yami is known for using is his black hole technique, which is, generally used for defense. It can absorb incoming attacks as long as they're not too large in size or too powerful. Another attack that might be one of Yami's more famous attacks, which can also be used in conjunction with his mana zone, is his Dimensional Slash. Now, when he uses this attack in conjunction with his mana zone, it will increase its range, its accuracy, and its strength. 3 other new spells after that, and these ones came, a thing after the time skip. One of them would be Black Moon, which is where he uses, black hole in conjunction with his mana zone. He condenses the mana zone to create a range around him. If any magical attack enters that range, it will be negated or nullified. Perfect defense. If any enemy enters that range, he'll use his Ian Slash. And since it is combined with mana zone and its usefulness, that attack will never miss. Just like it was very effective against Dante. And to date, Yami's strongest attack in my opinion would be the Death Thrust. He, focuses his mana zone to a singular point, condenses it to a singular point, and then thrusts his blade towards his opponent, putting a hole in his opponent, honestly making them see through. And this is why I think Yami deserves to be the 5th strongest character in Black Clover and the strongest captain in my opinion. Alright, and for the 4th spot, who I think is the 4th strongest in Black Clover, this spot will actually be a tie. I think it is a tie between Dante and Zenon. Dante using 80% of his devil magic to be specific, and Zenon using 70%. The reason why I think they're so strong and higher than the people previously mentioned, and also why they're tied, is because of the types of magic that they use and the abilities that this grants them. Dante can utilize gravity magic, which will allow him to alter the weight of certain objects, either making them faster or making their attacks stronger. Also, he has access to body magic, which will allow him to, regenerate from the majority of any attack used against him. It's difficult because even though we know Yami to be stronger than Dante based off combat ability, Yami doesn't have a way for countering his body magic. So, in turn, Dante would win in the battle if it was one-on-one. Now with Zenon, he uses bone magic and spatial magic. To date, I believe he is the strongest spatial mage that we have seen. When it comes to his bone magic, he can use it to allow a multitude of bones to protrude from his body at great speeds. So even if you are, inherently fast, it's hard for you to dodge. These bones are very dense in nature, very hard to break through, and have high regeneration speed, which makes it even harder to break through. And when it comes to his spatial magic, he can utilize that magic to dominate the mana in space. Meaning whatever, environment you guys may be in, if you try to use spatial magic against him, he'll be able to stop it. If you try to use any magic against him, he'll be able to dominate the mana in that space so that you won't even be able to utilize your magic, which is what he did to both Yuno in the anime, and he did this when we saw Langris trying to use his spatial magic against him in the manga. And due to this ability, this is why I placed Zenon and Dante so high. Even though, it's shown that Zenon was at 70% was beaten or overcame by Yuno caused a great amount of damage to Zenon, But I believe this ability would be very effective on the likes of Yami and Dante, which is why I've tied him with Dante and placed him and Dante at the 4th spot. Now for the person that I believe to be the 3rd strongest in Black Clover, that spot will go to Asta, specifically in his Devil Union mode. Now the reason I think Asta would be the 3rd strongest, let's look at the people we've previously mentioned. Yami, Dante, and Zenon. Now, all these people utilize magic. Asta uses anti-magic. Most people will be like, oh man, you're just a Asta fanboy. That doesn't mean he's going to automatically defeat these individuals. That's true, but when you factor in the skill that he's already had, him at a weaker point in conjunction with Yami was able to defeat Dante. So after receiving this power boost, his Devil Union mode, what makes you think he wouldn't be able to do the same on his own, especially considering what he did in the manga when he utilizes this form? Asta has the ability to negate magic. Asta has the ability to reflect an opponent's magic back at them. He has the ability to absorb and nullify the effects of magic, not just magic attacks themselves. And the range at which he can nullify magic is being greatly increased because he can enlarge his sword by controlling the flow of anti-magic, or he can just allow anti-magic and its energy to emanate from every spot in his body to increase that range, to make it have an effect, that extends past his body, And that's why I think Asta would be the 3rd strongest character in Black Clover. Another reason why I will place him so high on the list is because before it was mastered, he was able to, cancel out a stronger opponent's mana zone, which is my favorite character, Notched. And also, he was able, with help, of course, he was able to defeat the strongest enemy to date that we've seen in the manga, which will also make an appearance on this list. Now for the individual that I think would be the 2nd strongest in Black Clover, this one is a little different because it will be a fusion between 2 demons, Lilith and Naman. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but at the end of the day, I don't really care. Everybody mispronounces stuff in anime as Japanese. Either way, to continue, these 2 demons are known to be the highest ranking demons, or higher ranking demons. One utilizes, demon fire magic. The other utilizes demon ice magic. And when they fuse, they become particularly strong, able to use both these different types of magic in conjunction with one another. Now, this individual was very strong, but they clearly saw the person one step lower than them on the list as a threat, which was Asta, who I just previously mentioned. It was even in his Devil Union mode, Now, both of these individuals fought together, and it was a good fight. But due to Asta, not fully mastering his Devil Union mode, there was a time limit, and also he wasn't as fast as the 2 twin devils in their Devil Union mode. So, he needed help, once again from my favorite character, Notched. But that's neither here nor there. I think this individual, we'll just call them the twin devils, in their Devil Union mode, I think they are stronger than Asta because Asta wouldn't have been able to beat them on their own. I placed him in the 3rd spot, so obviously they will be the 2nd strongest. And last but not least, I know you guys have been waiting for it, for the number 1 spot, the Wizard King, Julius Novachrono, the present Wizard King. And I'm sorry, I say that to mean he is presently the Wizard King, not the state he's in presently. Because presently in the manga, we know him to be in the body of a child. But even though his magic power was reduced and he only had 1 page of his grimoire, he was able to use the abilities of his time magic to age his body and his magic. And also, that magic was, just to be factual, amplified by Dominito. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. If I'm wrong, who cares? Either way, he was able to, do a little something to the ancient demon, even though he was in a greatly weaker state. But the reason I'm putting Julius Novachrono at number 1 is first because of the type of magic he uses. He uses time magic, which As he's described, it steals time from his enemies, meaning he can reverse time to heal wounds. He can accelerate time and attack you to make it so you'll age at an accelerated rate. You can also use a combination of mana zone and time acceleration to read the flow and the mana of time in the future, which means it gives him an amazing clairvoyance ability, which allows him to read your attacks before you even make them and, react accordingly. Another reason why I've placed him so high in this spot is because Yami, even after the time skip fighting Dante, was still comparing himself to Julius. And that's crazy. Yami's the strongest captain we know, and that's a big flex, like comparing yourself to somebody else, even though you're still the strongest captain. That's just respect. I feel like he's really, hyping up Julius. Not that it's over exaggerated, because I still feel we haven't seen the full extent of his power. We know he can reverse time, across a large area, large span, to the entirety of the Clover Kingdom, which requires a large amount of magic at the level of, the Heart Queen herself. Even though he probably doesn't have as much magic as her, but I'm getting sidetracked. I feel like I've explained, what his abilities are, so now I'll just go over some of those spells. Now, he's able to use time binding magic, so that time will freeze for you, and you can do that to your attacks as well, binding your attacks, reversing or changing, where they're aimed, and then, speeding time up to send those attacks right back at you. Like I said, he can use a type of clairvoyance magic combined with reading the flow of mana, utilizing mana zone, and his time acceleration magic to anticipate the majority of all attacks. He can accelerate time to enhance his speeds to attack and make it so you'll age at a rapid rate. It can be a one-hit kill at times too, and also he can reverse time to stop your attacks over a large, very large range, kingdom size in fact, and he can do it, to even heal his own wounds. He can also store time. It's kind of reminded me of like some Naruto shit. I know it's a totally different anime, don't want to confuse anybody that's watching, but it kind of reminded me of Izanagi. Even though Julius had died, he was able to use the time that he had stored to at least save I believe it was 13 years worth of magic he had stored up, so he came back as a teenager. I believe that's how it worked, and that's just cold in and of itself. Although he did use it in conjunction with a magic tool, doesn't make it any less cold. But these are the reasons why I think Julius is the strongest character in Black Clover, the number 1 spot. And this is the end of the video. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoy.